All right. Welcome back to the Prjct podcast. We are so excited. We have Paige Rodgers, who you may know formally as Paige Powers, but you just got married. So, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I feel like you probably don't need a big introduction with our audience who probably know who you are, but just in case, Paige is a 4-time CrossFit Games athlete. Been competing since you were a teenager, which is so cool. It's been so fun to follow along with your journey. And of course, she's here because she just became a mom this year and has gotten back to competing. And we have truly loved watching your journey. So we're so excited to hear about it and chat more about it. So thanks so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on and for having little Oakley on.
Yes,
She's so
Oakley's here
cute.
too.
Take
So
over the show
cute.
today, but
She was so cute when you had her out with you on the floor at I think it was at World Fitness Project.
Yeah.
yeah, she definitely stole the show. She was trying
Yeah.
to steal a microphone too.
Yeah, she
Oh.
needs her own camera, her
Yeah,
own little
for sure.
spotlight.
Yeah. We one of my friends said for Rogue Invitational coming up that we should just have an Oakley cam going the whole time.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. How old is she now?
She's 8 months.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh, time flies.
It
Fun.
really does.
Uh yeah, how cool was that? That wasn't your first competition back since you've had her, right? Was this
My first like real competition back,
okay.
I did Mayhem Classic, but that was really more just like doing it for community and for fun
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. How was that having her there?
at WFP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun. I have a really hard time leaving her even just for a couple hours.
Oh
So
my gosh, yeah.
it was like a 3.5 hour flight, which made me a little bit nervous, but she did great. On the way
Oh,
back,
good.
it's a different story, but that's okay. But yeah, she really did so good the whole time. And it's a loud and overstimulating environment, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
she did really well.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And
Yes.
you did really well too.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good one for you.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll go back to like backwards to pregnancy and postpartum, but yeah, how did you feel just since that's the most recent thing? How did you feel competing?
I felt really good. I was a little bit nervous that my competition edge from before wouldn't be there just because I haven't truly been in competition mode since like a year ago.
Yeah.
Um, and so I was a little bit nervous to see if that was going to come back or not. But I was feeling pretty fit and strong for where I am in my recovery and training. So I was excited to just put it to the
Nice.
test and see where I stacked up.
Yeah,
Did you
that's
feel like it
awesome.
was easy to kind of flip that switch mentally to just as if you had never left?
Yeah, it was. It was definitely a little bit different though. It was more like less pressure of competing because
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know, just in the broad scheme of things, like competing is so insignificant compared to like being a mother and even
Yeah.
just like giving birth as well. I was like, I'm nervous for working out. Like, as soon
Yeah.
as the workout started, I was
Yeah.
like, it's just what I do every single day. It's just a workout. Like, just go out and
Yeah.
have fun with it. So I think there really was like a lot of pressure taken off of myself because like this is the most important thing now.
I love that. That's
I
awesome.
love that you feel that already. Like your world just totally, completely changes.
Yes, absolutely, it does.
For
So
sure.
let's go back to pregnancy. Let's start at the beginning. Tell us, when did you find out? How did you feel when you found out? And then how did you immediately change your pregnancy from at the very beginning and then throughout?
Yeah, so I found out really early on. I'm very consistent with my period. I was late, and so I kind of assumed that I was pregnant,
Okay.
and we didn't plan to become pregnant when we did. So I was definitely very nervous. My
Yeah,
husband and I were both like very nervous. We probably cried for like a week straight.
I feel
And
you.
there's like, there's this part of me, like, I've always, always, always wanted to be a mom. I've really always wanted to be a young mom, just maybe not as young as I. Um, But, you know, once all of like the nerves of like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen kind of faded away, it was just like all excitement and joy. Um, and, you know, it's scary bringing a baby into the world and maybe not having
Yeah.
everything figured out as far as like he was still in school and, you know, my job being an athlete, I was like, well, I can't necessarily do that anymore. So it was a little bit scary, but we kind of just decided to trust God's plan for us and let's go along with it.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, because
You
Betsy,
go.
you kind of had a similar experience, right? Where like you weren't
Yes.
really planning and had
Not
to
at all.
navigate all those feelings. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a scary thing to feel and almost like a shameful thing to not be happy to some degree, where you're like, it just wasn't in the cards and maybe not in the cards for a while or maybe not at all. And that's, yeah, that's a hard thing to feel, especially when you're used to working out and being in control of your body and now you don't get a choice. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was, yeah, a completely new feeling.
Hmm.
Pregnancy is pretty like wild growing a whole baby. I remember I was like kind of still training as normal for the first couple weeks, and I had
Hmm.
committed to doing a competition. It was literally just like one workout, 1v1. So I was like still trying to train for that, and trying to be fit, and my body just was not keeping up. I was so tired, so
Yeah.
nauseous. I mean, I was throwing up everything that I put into my body.
Ugh.
My like blood pressure would just skyrocket every time I'd lift and everything. So I was like, what is happening to my body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once I kind of let go of being a control freak
Hmm.
of like everything that I used to know, it was a lot easier going from that.
Do you feel like there's still a lot of misconceptions in the fitness space about women lifting and training like with any sort of intensity, and did you experience any of that, like whether it was on social media or training in the real world?
I mean, definitely a little bit. Sorry, she's got a lot to say. Yeah, definitely. I think online there's definitely kind of more of a shift where a lot more women in the fitness space are starting to have babies because I think it just wasn't super common where we didn't see it
Right.
before. And especially in CrossFit, now there's so many women having babies. So I didn't really like receive a lot of backlash from that, but definitely people in the gym were like, sometimes they're like, "Oh, that's a little crazy to still be like lifting weights and stuff," and they're like, "Aren't you going to take that out?" And
Right.
I think they just they didn't understand like the things that you can still do safely, and like that there
Yeah.
were a lot of things that I was taking out already, like especially once my bumps started showing with like core flexion and everything.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's definitely a safe way to do almost everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of it is just that it's like a misconception or a lack of education around, it's these kind of old beliefs that people still hold on to about what women can or should be doing in pregnancy. So I
Mhm.
think it's so cool that we are now seeing moms like you and Ariel and Tia all, who are in the public eye showing, maybe doing more than the average mom is doing, but you're still continuing to train and showing that that's something that you can still do and making some modifications like you said, but yeah, cool. That's awesome.
Sure. Yeah.
So, Paige, how did you approach, once you found out, like, how did you approach changing movements? And when you said about when your bump started showing for the most part is when you started changing, how did you do that? And where did you get that guidance from?
So my really good friend from Michigan, Jess, we actually like were a week apart in our due dates, and this was her fourth. So she's had a ton of experience of going through pregnancy and still doing CrossFit. My friend Jess, she was kind of like my guidance for everything. And with her being a week ahead, she was able to give me her week ahead of programming of like, hey, here's where I am. And she was the one to tell me like to look for the coning, and she was like, if you don't have that, you're still okay to do this and this. And she was like, she was the one that told me to really just like go by feel. She's like, you know your body
Awesome.
the best, and as long as everything feels okay. And even when like Braxton Hicks started showing up later when I'd start working out, she was like, she was the one that told me what that was, because I was like, oh, I'm getting this weird like cramping feeling. I don't know what that is. And she was like, you're it's okay. Just like take a little breather whenever you get that.
Yeah.
Like it's still safe to work out. So
Yeah. That's so cool. It's so helpful to have someone who's been through it. And I mean, that's the reason we started Mint, because it's like we can teach each other and learn from each other and, keep spreading that kind of information to other moms. So that's awesome.
absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about your postpartum experience. How did early recovery go? Do you feel like, did you have a plan and did it go as planned?
I didn't really have a plan at all, because everything about postpartum was just so foreign to me. Pregnancy, you get a long time to kind of understand how your body's changing and what you need to do to change with it. But I felt pretty lost going into postpartum, but Jess was a really big part of, again, she delivered a week before me, or a week
Yeah.
before me. So we were like both very close. And she helped me a lot with like, hey, I know the status quo is to not do anything until 6 weeks. But, she's like, this is my fourth kid and this is what's worked for me. And she knew that I had a great birth, great delivery,
Oh, good.
have any tearing, and honestly my like abs came together pretty well. I didn't have much separation at all, but between that and then also your program, the mint program, I followed
Good.
that
Yeah.
for the first 6 weeks, and
Awesome.
that's all I did for the first like 2 or 3 weeks. Um, and I competed 8 weeks postpartum at classic. And
Yeah.
a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
people don't realize that I did do a lot of like base building work. I
Yeah.
really only worked out for maybe an hour a day. It wasn't like
Yeah.
crazy training, or I wasn't like leaving my baby behind to go like
Right. Yeah.
do like training for hours a day. It was just everything was very simple. And, there's a couple things that I wouldn't, I wouldn't be snatching 155 again if I wasn't training for a competition. But,
Yeah.
I did it safe to what my body knew, um, and what my baseline fitness was before.
Well, I think going back to Mayhem Classic, I think you said an hour a day. And I think that's something that, like, when we see stuff on Instagram, we see these amazing photos of people kicking ass and don't even think about, okay, what did that actual day look like for them? And it can look like, okay, she probably just killed herself for 3 days straight and just sun up to sundown, just dying in sweat. And really, those competitions, not all of them, but like that one, it sounds like you do a workout and then you have a lot of time to rest and see your baby or whatever it is. So yeah, I think just the reality of it, do you think is a little misconstrued sometimes from what people see?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I had a lot of backlash after doing classic by really like moms online. That was the biggest one. And some of them felt the need to like do their own post of like why it was so wrong for me to compete 8 weeks postpartum and for me to like leave my baby to train for it.
Yeah.
And they just truly didn't know the full picture of like literally working out for 1 hour a day. And
Yeah.
honestly, for like my mental sanity, like I needed that hour a day, because postpartum is obviously very hard. And like the first 8 weeks is probably the hardest, it's the biggest adjustment. And it was the nicest thing for me to have that 1 hour
Mm-hmm.
where my husband would watch her, and I would just get this hour to myself to like literally just like recharge my mind, recharge my body so I can be a better mom for my baby. And
Yeah.
same thing with the classic. It was literally like 2 events a day for 3 days, or no, I think it was only a 2 day competition. We did maybe like two the first day and three the second day. And it was like, I still breastfed her through the whole
Yeah.
thing. I was with her in between every single event. So It really wasn't crazy days at all. And, it's 10 minutes down the road from us, which is the biggest decision of
Oh, nice.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. People don't remember, like, you're an elite athlete, so your kind of recovery is going to look a little bit different because of the foundation and intensity that you've already built and kind of maintained. And then also, like you said, you had a pretty solid birth. Like, it doesn't sound like you had any like huge core or pelvic floor symptoms that would take a really long time to rehab and set you back. So that's huge too. And yeah, I think people just see things and there's this just like you should do it this way. And I mean, and like moms should be support. That's what drives me nuts is it's like moms should be the ones supporting other moms and like, my God, how cool that you felt good enough to go do that.
Yes.
Because I remember when we talked to you when you were pregnant on the phone, you had said, I'm going to take postpartum and see how I feel. And if I'm not ready to compete, I'm not going to compete. And I thought that was so smart. And
Yeah.
it sounds like that's what you're doing.
Yes. I didn't even make the decision for Classic to do it until like maybe a week before. And that was like my first time snatching 155. And I was like, if I can snatch it once, then I'm just going to go out on the floor and just have a good time and see what I can do. And there was no competitive aspirations at all. It was literally just for me to kind of like feel like myself again and be a part of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
community and do a fun event. I also want to add in that I went to a pelvic floor PT as well
Nice.
here in
Awesome.
Cookville. So he was able to be a little bit more hands-on and, feel my pelvic floor engaging and disengaging. And at the 6-week mark, he gave me all clear to, go ahead and
Awesome.
everything looks good. I even told him, like, I'm still kind of peeing myself when I do especially jump roping. I think that was the only thing I really had issues with.
Okay.
He explained to me, like, it's nothing wrong with your pelvic floor, and it's not like, it's not because it's too weak. It's just because there's a lot of stress being put on it, especially with
Hmm.
blenders. When you're out of breath, everything puts a lot of pressure onto your pelvic floor when you're jumping. So he definitely was able to ease my mind of like, okay, I'm going to go out there. I'm safe and just do what I can and not not care what anybody else is.
Good. Yeah.
So, what made you go to a pelvic floor physical therapist? Were
Honestly,
you just being preventative, or was it the peeing, or what? Just doing your due diligence?
so I started going towards the end of my pregnancy, and
Beautiful.
I really only went because it was covered under insurance. And my the provider that I was seeing said that, it wouldn't be a bad idea, like if it was going to be covered, just to like go,
Mm-hmm.
especially because she knew that I wanted to get back to my competitive aspirations at some point. And so she just recommended that I go and just check it out. It honestly, like, there were so many things that I completely took out of my routine that I didn't realize I could still do some like core work still, because I thought I had to like take that completely out of the picture,
Yeah.
because I was like, I just thought everything was going to cause coning. And, there's a lot of things that you can actually do to keep your core and your pelvic floor strong towards the end of pregnancy. So I do think that helped quite a bit in my
Yeah.
recovery as well.
That's awesome. So, what was mindset like for you postpartum? Like week one, day one, even after birth? It's real now. There's a baby here. I was an athlete. What is life with this little human?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely was just completely in babyland, like probably for the first week. I mean, I do say that, but by day 4, I was back in the gym. But that's only because I just needed a place to walk and it was cold and
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything. And I was like, I need to get out of the house just for like a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, that was like a 30-minute walk a day. But it was just like so unreal to me that, you know, we made this tiny little human and they're just like here now, and like
Yeah.
everything changed like for the best. And I actually, whenever we got home, I sat down on the couch and my husband was holding her and I just looked at him. I was like, so can we have like 25 more of these? It
Ah,
Oh, I love
that's
that.
awesome.
was definitely the hormone speaking.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Kind of on that related topic, Since you've become a mom, do you feel like, and I think you kind of answered this when you talked about competition, has it changed the way that you look at fitness, how you look at strength, or kind of even how who you want to be as an athlete and a role model?
Yeah, definitely. I think as far as me as an athlete and a role model, that has a lot more weight now that I have a daughter of my own, and like showing her, that strong is cool. And um I don't know, it's just really special to like raise a daughter and to be like a strong female. My mom was always like very into fitness, and she does CrossFit now, but like growing up watching her like always working out, like I think that wanted me to like always have an active lifestyle. And also like body image wise, being able to be a good role model as far as like me being happy with my body and showing her that it's okay for her to be happy with her body, because for I think women especially, like body image is a huge topic, and I think everybody kind of has issues when it comes to their own body, whether it's like severe or minor. But I just want her to always feel happy in her skin, because I always did before the world told me what I was supposed to look like. I just want her
Nice.
to like ignore what the
I
Yeah.
love
world
that.
says about what your body should look like. So I hope that in efforts of me doing that for my daughter, it can rub off onto other, especially women as well.
I love that. Having a daughter is like, I do not have a daughter, to be clear. I have a son, but I have imagined and can tell from those with daughters that it must be very therapeutic to like see your reflection and say, I want to give you all the good things I learned and give you a head up on being a female in the world, because it's not easy. And one day she'll be a mom, and that'll be, or potentially be a mom, and that's could be such a cool like time for you to then reflect on her with too.
Yeah.
Has becoming a mom changed how you look at fitness? I mean, I know a lot of our listeners will be moms who are not doing it for their job, right? But it's still your availability has changed, your desires of where you want to spend your time and attention. I'm sure like you've had to make room for her now. So how has motherhood changed how you look at fitness and strength, or just who you want to be as an athlete?
Yeah, I mean, definitely for me, my schedule has shifted a lot. I'm doing a lot less than I did before. Between that and also just, getting in the gym, getting it done and leaving, and like not having time for social hour. And I always joke like I thought I was busy before, but now I'm like, you know, that was nice before.
Yeah,
You know, I'm definitely more focused and dialed in, but Mayhem here has like a whole bunch of moms, like new moms. And it's just inspiring for me to see like they're going there. And I think with CrossFit, the beauty of that is like you're going to be there for an hour. But a lot of
yeah,
them bring their kids, and like we have a very like willing community that wants to help, especially the moms.
yeah,
Everybody loves babies, so they definitely do always want to help out the moms, let them get a good workout in. But they just like they get in there and get it done, and I'm just so impressed. Like you know, people are in there, they're in there before the 6 week clearance mark, and just doing what they can, scaling what they
yeah.
can, and
Right.
yeah, it's just that's inspiring for me to see, because I want to do it because it's my job, but they want to do it to better themselves for their kids.
It is like amazing what moms do. Like when you truly think, like I think back, my daughter is 11 now. So like this, it was a long time ago for me, but I just think about like how exhausted you are in postpartum, but like you still need that time for yourself. You still need to move a little bit. And then you have to come back and take care. It's just like there is mentally and emotionally and physically, it's just amazing what moms do. So just echo what you say there.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely now too. I was just talking with one of my friends, like before I used to sell out on every workout. I was just absolutely exhausted at the end of the day. And now it's like, I do still want to chase my competitive aspirations, but being a mom is always going to come first for me. So it's like I'm not putting in 100,000% into every single workout every day. And that doesn't mean that, I'm just relaxing and just doing whatever, but I'm like, I
Just
do,
means you'll be alive at the end to hold a
yes.
baby.
And I owe it to my daughter and myself to like be attentive to her in between sessions and at the end of the day. And yeah, so that's definitely shifted quite a bit.
Has your what does your nutrition look like? Well, it sounds like you were breastfeeding for a little bit. So did you have to change anything there as you like moved into competition? And even now with being even more busy with a little one and continuing to train?
Yes, I am still breastfeeding. And so that I've had to add on an extra like 500 calories a day. I upped my fats a lot. I used to be, I want to
Yeah.
say around like 65 to 70 grams of fat, and now I'm like 80 to 100 grams of fat,
Yeah.
just to keep up with breast milk
Yeah.
supply. And overall, I'm just eating a lot of food. I don't necessarily do the best job with tracking, but I do every now and then just to make sure I am getting enough
Right.
calories, because that's kind of the job right now.
Yeah.
Not limiting myself, but getting enough and even then some after that. So
I think that's cool that or what you said is something that I want other moms to really hear when you said, like, I do every now and then. Because if you've ever tracked, which I'm sure tons of our listeners have, that's a job to weigh every
Oh
single
my gosh,
gram
yes.
and put it in. And if you have someone coaching you even and giving you the numbers, like it's still a lot of work, especially when you're eating a ton of food or let's say making recipes and then you've got the things combined and it's even harder. Something that I think as a when you become a mom and you want to go to track, and let's say for just those who are not competing just for body image purposes, a really good balance is track every few days or once a week or so, see where your habits are falling naturally, and then kind of mix that with some intuitive eating. So it sounds like that's kind of similar to what you're doing, like keeping a general eye on your habits and what you're putting in your body, but not aggressively counting every gram. Is that right?
yes, absolutely. I think being a mom kind of just puts that extra edge of like almost burnout from it, just almost becomes like too much of like
Mm-hmm.
effort into everything else that like, sometimes you kind of let the things for yourself like slip away. But I do really find a lot of benefit in tracking just to make sure you are eating enough. And I'm kind of a creature of habit, so I'm eating around the similar things every day. Every day pretty much almost looks the same. So yeah, for me, just to make sure that, my job is to eat enough food. And
Yeah.
I do notice like I'm like, oh, if I haven't tracked in a couple of days, my milk supply kind of goes down, because I just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
eating just isn't my top priority of things, even though, it kind of should be up there being an athlete.
Yeah. Even as not an athlete, I can't tell you how many times moms are like, oh, I forgot to eat. And
Yeah.
I say men, maybe not just men, but generally men are like, how do you forget to eat? You're like, well, there's this human and these other people I got to feed. So
Right.
it's just not my top priority. So
Yeah.
yeah, especially
Yeah,
when you're competing, like you got to eat the food.
Yes.
totally.
My husband, if he doesn't eat for like 15 minutes, he's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to pass out. I'm so hungry. I'm like, mom's just turn that off. It just goes
I
Yeah.
away.
know.
My
It's
husband
like,
will ask me almost every day around lunchtime, which, wow, how did it get here so fast? Are you hungry? And I'm like, I, I just don't think I'm not even thinking about that.
No.
That doesn't turn on until I'm
yeah,
starving and think, oh, I should probably put something in my body.
right. And then I'm ready to murder someone because I haven't eaten
Yeah.
all day.
Or just eat like a whole
Yeah.
bag of chips.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
like,
of
why did I do
course.
that? I could have just eaten lunch.
I know, I know. But that is such a good tip. And I used to coach nutrition a lot, and that was like one of the things is like women and moms especially wouldn't, you get to a workout and you don't have energy. And I'm like, well, how many carbs are you eating? And are you getting your protein in? And I'm like, I probably not. So it's like just like get at least a baseline. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. All right. We'll
I
let you get
I
back
have
to,
a
oh, go ahead.
closing question.
Yeah.
What's a two question? What is your hardest part about motherhood or Oakley? Either one. Answer that as you will right now. And what is the best part right now, or
right
your
now.
favorite part right now? Yeah.
Okay, well, this is good timing for right now because 2 weeks ago I would have said probably nothing's the hardest part because she's such a
Wow.
little baby. But right now she's a little bit clingy. So it's hard to, like, when my husband's working, especially like at nights and I'm cooking dinner, it's like, she's kind of just like screaming the whole time, like doesn't
Yeah.
want to pay
Yeah.
attention. And she's been a little bit more rough at night. She's been really well up until now and the last really just like week. She does not want me to put her down. So
Mm.
that's been a little bit tough.
It's so bittersweet, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's like, I want her to want me and to need me. I love, like, I love taking, well, not me taking naps with her, but her napping on me. Um, and it kind of just brings me back to like the newborn stage when they're just so
Mm-hmm.
small and squishy. But, at the same time, it's like if I want to get stuff done or if it's 3 in the morning, I'm like, I'd really like to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
So that's the toughest part right now. But I'm also just, trying to be grateful for, like, she's not going to need me like this again. So I kind of just try to remind myself that when I'm tired and exhausted, she's not going to be this small again. She's not going to have, like, I'm going to be begging her in a couple years to come cuddle with me.
Yes. I was gonna say enjoy it. I know it's like sometimes
Yes.
frustrating, but now my daughter's like, okay,
The one with
bye. I
the
feel like,
11-year-old. Yeah,
yeah,
it's feeling
I
it.
like called Betsy like crying the other day because I'm like, she doesn't want to hang out with me. And so,
I know. I'm like really trying to not take it for granted, even when it feels like
Yeah.
a little hard and overwhelming.
Good.
And really, there's lots going on over here.
that's
Dogs
mom life.
crying.
Love it.
I'd say the best parts. Oh gosh, there's just.
There's a lot. You can do more than one. Do like your top three.
I think at this stage she's starting to get more of a personality.
Yeah, for sure.
Just like her laughing and smiling. She's a really smiley girl, and even people at the gym are starting to notice, like, oh my gosh, she's just smiling and laughing all day, which is just super fun to see that personality come out. And she's starting
Yeah.
to move a little bit, which is fun. She's like army crawling around. She started standing up.
Mm.
I think those are just fun to like
Yeah.
see how fast they go from just doing nothing except for sleeping, eating, and pooping to like
Right.
becoming a full human. It's kind of great.
Whole person.
Yeah.
I know. That is so fun. Okay, this is the last question, then we'll let you go because we know you have things to do.
Good.
Rogue Invitational is next, right? When is
Yes.
that?
That is 3
I was gonna
weeks,
say,
three
okay,
weekends.
Gosh,
nice.
that happened
It's the last
fast.
weekend of October.
Okay, awesome. Cool.
Yes. I'm
Looking
very excited. We're going to take her to Scotland. So
Yay. It's
nice.
going to be a little
Travel baby.
traveling girl.
we just got
Jealous.
for it the other day and sitting there
Baby passport.
hung out.
Her passport picture, I'm sure, is just like the cutest, funniest, cutest thing.
It is. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So we're very excited for that. A little bit nervous for the travel, but
Yeah.
we'll figure it out.
But everybody's going to
You'll
live through it. Just keep
you'll
telling
figure it
yourself, we're
out.
going to live through this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
Got it.
It'll be so cool to have her there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
we
we're
look forward to
excited.
watching you at Rogue.
Thank
That'll
you.
be fun.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm very
Yeah.
excited I feel like each month postpartum, you just make new strides. So I'm really
Mm-hmm.
excited to see where I'm going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets better and better. So it's going to be great. Yeah, I can't wait to watch. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Paige, for coming on and being
Thank
with
you
us
for having
today. I know you have a lot going on. Yeah,
Yeah, no, thank you for having me through the distractions and internet
of
and
course.
all.
All good. You're not the first one. You won't be the last.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's a good chat.
Awesome. Well, yeah, good luck at Rogue, and we will hopefully talk to you soon.
Awesome. Sounds
Okay.
good. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.